Hello, how are we all? I hope we are good. I'm looking nice and warm and flushed, and I would love to say that's because it's super warm at the moment, because seriously, if you look outside, you could think, I don't know if you can see, I don't know if I picked up how blue the sky is. The sky is clear and crystal blue and it's beautiful, but it is freezing. In fact, I think it's about 5 degrees and it's 2:30 p.m. So it's not even, oh wow, it's 7 degrees. Sorry, my mistake. All of next week, however, it's going to be 4 and 5 degrees, so we love that. I actually just had a boiling hot bowl of ramen and a cup of green tea. So that's why I'm looking nice and flushed. I like to give it like a half-an-hour window. After that half-hour window, after having a cup of tea or coffee or like a soup or something really warm, I then get super cold again. So I'm gonna sit here in the bliss of the next half an hour that is warmth. Anyone that is currently crossing the threshold to winter, Australians go away, you'll know that around this time of day, you've got a special window of time where you can film before the sun starts to set. It's getting dark at about 4 p.m. I'm rambling on as per. I thought, and I haven't done one of these videos, God, since I had my last YouTube channel, I thought I would do a bit of a November favorites because I have some November favorites, and if this is quite a popular thing, I will try and do it more often. It'd probably be good for me to do just a general favorites video. I'm very much someone that if I like something, I will stick to that and I will keep that one thing. I could have the same meal every single day and not get sick of it, and I feel like that's a representation of how I feel about things that I've really been enjoying. Once I'm like stuck with something, it's good. I must preface this and say I slept on my neck funny. So every time I look over, I think it's actually my shoulder, there's like a twinge nerve. Every time I look over my left shoulder, it's like a flash of pain. So if you notice me grimace at all, it's just my dodgy shoulder. I'm gonna go with the food first. I have to like rotate my whole body only because something needs to go back in the fridge. Weird obsession, I suppose it's not that weird, with kefir. So kefir is very, very popular in Europe. You can get it in like a drinking yogurt kind of version, but you can also get it in a spoonable version. Honestly, I only got this one because it was a little bit cheaper than the pot, but I really don't mind either. And you'll see in the clips that I have been having it with my breakfast. In fact, let's just roll on this whole breakfast clip because it's really quite nice and enjoyable and very delicious. This pepper nut almond butter, I would highly, highly recommend. It's so hard to find. The only places I've been able to find it are Holland and Barrett's. I believe you can also get it in Sainsbury's. I haven't actually looked. They teamed up with Hackney Gelato, which is a place in London, and it's sea salted caramel almond butter. And look, I'm a peanut butter girly through and through, but this is just... So as you can see, I just had that in a bowl. Now on that video, I did show the scoopable one, but I would argue that it's kind of the same texture as this one. I do the exact same thing. Yes, you could just drink it straight from the bottle, but I put it in a little bowl with some fruits and stuff. Kefir is amazing. It has a lot of good bacteria in there. For some reason, a lot of people with IBS, when they take probiotics, like in the pill version, it can make their stomach worse, and I'm one of these people. Anytime I take like a digestive, well, my cheeks are so flushed, aren't they? Anytime I take a digestive product, my stomach goes horrible. But for some reason, kefir, way, way better. In fact, it really settles my stomach, and now I started back on antidepressants about 2 weeks ago. They can wreak havoc with our digestive system, let's be honest here, and I already have IBS and high stress levels, so I'm just doing what I can right now to support and nourish my microbiome, which means daily kefir, and I just love it. Like, it tastes really good to me. I'm a big fan of natural yogurt. It's not too tangy either. So if you've been avoiding natural yogurt because it's too tangy for you, could be worth giving kefir a try. It feels good in my tummy, so I thought I'd recommend that. And then my second food thing, which is linked to like a bigger thing, this is so random, is this Sostrene Grene. I think it's just called their own recipe, sweet and hot mustard. I am a mustard girly through and through, mostly Dijon mustard. Love Dijon mustard, have it, could have it on anything really. I like the spicy ones, I like the hot ones, I like the ones that make your nose tingle. This is not that, so if you don't like a nose tingling experience, you'll still be okay with this one. It's a little sweeter and a little smokier. I can't get enough of it. Now at first I was thinking this has a weird texture. It has a gloopy texture. I mean, you're not gonna be able to see it. Yeah, you can't really see it here, but it has a gloopy texture. Now I was wondering about this, so I looked on the ingredients panel and it does have wheat flour in there. So if you can't have gluten, sorry, you can't have this product. Kind of grinds my gears a little bit, because if you were celiac or you did have a gluten allergy and you're buying mustard, you're not really gonna look at the ingredients profile because typically you don't add mustard, add flour into mustard. I could be wrong there, but I don't think you do. And I think that that's what gives it a gloopy consistency, which I don't love. When you put it on something, of course, you're like spreading it or like getting hotter, so that goes away and it's fine. But the biggest thing about this is, I can't remember for definite, I think it was £1.45. For good quality mustard, £1.45 is quite mind-blowing. Sostrene Grene is my second recommendation. If you know, you know. I have fallen head over heels in love with this place, and I think everyone else has now that it's becoming more well-known. They opened one in Sheffield a few months ago, and then I was in Liverpool a few weeks ago, found one there, equally as amazing, and even when I was in Amsterdam, I went in one. So I'm just obsessed with Sostrene Grene because it's like the IKEA of cutesy homewares, cozy vibes. I think it comes from Denmark. Yeah, it comes from Denmark, and it's just cozy, and I just love it. So my second thing that I got from Sostrene Grene, I mean, I bought quite a few things from there over the past month, but the standouts are the mustard and my knitting bowl. Now, I know a lot of you here probably aren't knitters, but for those that are, you will know the frustration when you've got a big ball of wool like this one and you end up getting so many little knots in it. I spend more time getting those knots out than I do actually knitting. This is where a knitting bowl comes in. So you feed the piece of wool through this little spirally thing, and then while you're knitting, it just sort of like comes out the spiral. Not only that, it looks cute, and it just means that the wool isn't going everywhere. I mean, luckily for me, my cat he's not bothered by wool. He loves knitting needles. We could play with a knitting needle all day, but when it comes to wool, he's quite unbothered. If you did have a cat that loves to play with balls of wool, this might be better for it because it's like in a little home. So that's what I got from Sostrene Grene. Weirdly expensive. That was £7, which doesn't seem expensive, but considering the prices of some things in that shop, I felt that was a bit expensive. Another thing I got from there was these dark chocolate almonds, and I was hesitant whether to actually put this on this video because I'm not too sure I recommend them. The glass was just so beautiful, the little jar, that I couldn't not recommend them, and it was only £2.95. You can reuse this jar in all sorts of other stuff to keep your little treats in afterwards. In retrospect, I don't love these. So they're almonds with dark chocolate and sea salt, and they're too salty. I like a bit of dark chocolate sea salt combination here, but there are too many salt flakes in that it leaves a really salty aftertaste, and they're not that great. If you love super salty dark chocolate, this could be great for you. But for me, I'm going to try and, you know, persevere through and eat them because someone's got to do it. I wouldn't be repurchasing them. I would just be using the really nice little jar for something else, for some dark chocolate almonds that aren't sea salt dark chocolate almonds. Right, I need to go put the kefir in the fridge. I'll be back. Oh, I didn't mean to turn that on. Hello. Quick help. Bye. All right, I'm back. I don't know if I'm in the same position, but that doesn't matter. Oh, ow, my shoulder. We all know, if you've been following me for some time, mostly on Instagram, I am very passionate about coffee. I love my Nespresso machine. It's my little baby. I mean, we're moving on to bigger and better things at the moment. My Nespresso machine is going nowhere. I'm still keeping that at home, but I'm going into a little bit more specialty coffee at the minute. But I couldn't not, oh, that was gonna be so impressive. I couldn't not get the Festive Nespresso capsules, and I have added them to my Nespresso capsule spreadsheet. If you have a Nespresso machine, if you've just gotten one and you want me to share this spreadsheet with you, please just let me know. Just message me on Instagram, comment down below, I don't mind. I have so far reviewed 32 different Virtuo capsules. I think it's Virtuo. Now, the 3 ones they brought out for Christmas this year were, firstly, the frosted caramel nut flavor, which I kind of knew I was going to like that. The seasonal delight spices flavor, wasn't too sure about that one, and then the festive double espresso. Now, as I imagined, this one is a delight. The only thing that makes me unhappy is that last year for Christmas they brought out one called an infinite gourmand, I think it was called, and that capsule was the love of my life. It was like a Kinder Bueno. It was so nice. Like, of course, remember, these don't have sweeteners or sugar or anything in them, so it's just the essence of that taste. Like if you were to go to Starbucks and get a latte with caramel syrup, it's not like that. It's very different. But that was so good, so I was kind of heartbroken they didn't bring it back, and instead they brought the caramel nut, which was good, but the nut flavor doesn't come from hazelnuts, it comes from almonds, and I'm not an almond lover. I'll have almond milk because that doesn't really taste of that almond flavor, but like that marzipan flavor, hate it, absolutely hate it. So I was a little bit worried because this one does come, like the nut flavor does come from almond, but I was pleasantly surprised. They have caramel capsules now, but they've changed the recipe and they're not as good. It was like the original caramel capsules that I used to love with just a little bit of something in the background, and I really liked it. I have it with milk, so that's one that I don't drink black, but I guess it'd be alright black too. Highly recommend this one. And now this one here, the guy at the Nespresso store said that he didn't like it, and it was a little bit like mulled wine, and it was a bit fruity and a bit spicy, and it tasted a bit like a candle. So I was really hesitant about this one. I almost didn't buy a sleeve. Thought I need to add it to the spreadsheet. I did go in thinking I wasn't gonna like it. I actually really like it. So far, I've only drank this one black, and I like it black, so I'll probably stick with that. One thing I don't like about it is the name. I feel like they could have been way more creative. It's literally just called Seasonal Delight Spices Flavor. That is not creative in the slightest. I really like it. It is a bit spiced, but not overwhelmingly spiced. It doesn't taste like mulled wine. It doesn't taste fruity. I'd rate that. Then lastly, the Festive Double Espresso. Again, I don't really know what's festive about this. I mean, it said it's got woody notes, so I'm guessing like fireside, Christmas warmth indoors with the chimney. I don't know. I really liked it, and so I guess that's the only thing that matters. Yeah, it is a bit of a random one if you ask me. I guess they wanted to bring out a Christmas edition that wasn't spicy, that wasn't too flavored, that just sort of paid attention to the coffee more so than the added extras. It was nice if you like double espresso, you want one double espresso size. Remember with these, if you do accidentally get armed with a bunch of espresso or double espresso sizes, you can just add extra hot water and you still have your normal long cup of coffee. Okay, next up, these are just cute and I could not include them. So I love Percy Pig. Weirdly enough, my mum loves buying me Percy Pig stuff, and I'm not gonna complain about that because I think it's just the cutest thing. I'm not even a big fan of pigs. I don't eat pork and I don't like pink. But anything Percy Pig, I'm just all about. I tried to get my hands on this so much last year, had no success, but then my mum managed to get this little twin pack. Now, it is a bit expensive. I think that she paid £16 from this because it's Nails Incorporated, which is kind of like a bougie brand. It's so worth it because you get this little duo and they're in really cute little jars. Jars? What would you call this? Nail polish jar, I guess. They're scented like Percy Pigs. Now, if you were to smell it like directly, also I don't know if you're supposed to take that off to take this off, but I do anyway, it's easier. Yeah, look, if you smell it directly from the nail polish jar, it smells like chemicals, but once you put it on your nails and it dries, your nails smell so sweet, and literally they smell quite like Percy Pigs, which is surprising. I don't know how they do it. It's such a cute color, so you get the light pink and the darker pink. I'd highly recommend it. They're really fun, bright colors. They smell really good, and they bring a little bit of joy. And I think sometimes when you're feeling a bit sad, just seeing a nice little color and have a little sniff of the nails, it is a little bit weird to just be sniffing your nails and making people sniff your nails, but always puts a smile on people's faces. Now, I have two more things. I'm gonna overlay some footage of me baking madeleines. Now, a lot of people haven't heard of madeleines. They're a French little dessert that I absolutely adore. I think I first stumbled upon a recipe from a blog of a French baker I used to love back when I was 16. So we're talking like 12 years ago here, called David Lebovitz. And now he has his own chain of bakeries in Belgium and Paris. It's amazing. And they're kind of like, they're like little cakes, and they're baked in this beautiful shell shape. They just bring a little bit of joy and delight. Now, you do have to buy a special tin for this, and I bought this off of Amazon for £7, I think. But once you have this tin, you've pretty much got it for life. You can make your madeleines. I will leave the recipe down below. I will leave links to all of this stuff down below as well. They just bring me joy. I love giving them as gifts to people. I love eating them. It brings me joy. So that's one of my November favorites, because I now have a freezer full of madeleines. Now, last one, I don't actually have the book on me, but I've got my Kindle. I kind of read books during the day, and then at nighttime, and when I go out on my read walks, which I won't go into that right now, but I go for little read walks. It's nighttime, it's dark when I do this, so my Kindle is backlit, so I don't have to worry about having light source available to me. Also, I once picked up a tip to get a pop socket thing for the back of your Kindle. Changed my life, especially when I'm out walking. I can just hold it like this. Absolutely love it. I have just read a book called Demon Copperhead, and it was really, really moving. It was based on, not based on, but it was like a modern day rendition in a hillbilly setting of Charles Dickens' David Copperfield. I said that the show was called Demon Copperhead, right? I've confused myself. Okay, well now the angle's changed. I'm sorry, I had to make some more room. So the book is called Demon Copperhead. It's based on David Copperfield. I don't know why this is just such a tongue twister in my head. Anyway, I loved it, but what I thought I would actually do is, instead of me rambling on about this book, down below I will leave the link to my Goodreads account. I'm an avid reader and I'm always reading stuff. I'm not gonna harp on about a book that may not take your interest. I really liked this book. It's long. I think it was 650 pages. It was hard for me to work out because I had it on my Kindle. It did take me a little while to get through. I don't like books about love. I don't like books about relationships. I don't like books about like family dynamics. You know, me and Colleen Hoover, we don't get on, put it that way. I'm just not into stuff like that. But I love life stories and I love evolving, and literally this book starts with this kid being born and it tells the story of his life all the way up to when he's like 30 or 35 or something. So really, really enjoyed that. I'm currently now reading a book that I'm enjoying. It's not as deep, it's just one to get through, called If We Were Villains. And it's quite good. I think that to read this one, you have to be a bit of a fan of Shakespeare. So if you really don't care for Shakespeare, I probably wouldn't recommend that one, but I've got that one on the go. And then I hired 2 books from the library today that are 1-week loans. So I'm gonna be doing a lot of reading. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up here. I think that there are at least another 10 things I could add to this list, but I don't want this video to go on forever. As I said, I will leave the links and the information to anything down below. If I've missed anything out, or if you have any questions, or if you want to share something that you've been loving this month with me, leave a comment down below. We can have a little chat about it. If you want that spreadsheet, do let me know either here or on Instagram, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you for watching.